Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of the Contemplate. This audio podcast is part of the Labostix Blizzard and the specials. This audio podcast as part of an Echo and an Update. This audio podcast is part of a Storm Labostix production. Excuse me. Through this audio podcast, now looking into a bit more in around the spike proteins of SARS-CoV-2. So this the spike protein that is the sort of spike in around the spike elements that encapsulate or sort of are part of the sort of structural basis of SARS-CoV-2. They in around where SARS-CoV-2 is evident or has been evident, is where the spike protein binds to ACE2, and cleaves host cell membranes, allowing the RNA entry, allowing the RNA entry, and this then prompts transmembrane protease serine 2 or TMPRSS2, which helps to also cleave and activate spike protein. RNA at the same time synthesizes new genomic RNA. That is to say, where there is where we're generally in around the spike proteins, because of their sort of virulence, if you will, then it is where RNA is almost replicated or duplicated, such that the genomic RNA bases actually then can become more virulent in those who are suspect or high risk. And so where this where Bohtha, the student who actually developed this works, drafted this works, had informs that the RNA strand synthesizes new genomic RNA and structural proteins to form new virions. Yeah, so new virions are, i.e., again, the sort of where the spike proteins that sort of encapsulate or basis of the SARS-CoV-2 are then sort of regenerated to form new virions. And some membrane associated proteins are translated by endoplasmic reticulum or ER and nucleocapsid protein, which is translated by ribosomes, whilst proteins are assembled in the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi intermediate compartments, and the incubation period of COVID-19 has been evidenced in amongst literature as an average of just under 6.5 days. Excuse me. And the common symptoms have been documented as cough, myalgia or sort of fatigue or malaise and headache, and other serious symptoms, where there can be other serious symptoms, and coronavirus that causes respiratory coronavirus cause respiratory, enteric and hepatic and neurological diseases in amongst suspect or high risk patients. Other than lower respiratory tract infection, there are extrapulmonary symptoms such as lymphopenia, which can disturb sort of other major functions, other major organ functions, or multi-organ or sort of prompt multi-organ dysfunction syndrome. At the same time, there can be high level of D-dimer, interleukin 6, ferritin, and abnormal heart rate, which can also be seen in SARS-CoV-2 recipients. At the same time, the immune system also distinguishes the virus and T and B cells. The virus and sort of prompts T and B cells to produce antibodies to attack the virus. SARS-CoV-2 can also spread by liquid droplets through coughing and sneezing, contaminated surfaces, and hand to mouth, and even through sort of blood transfusion procedures. So at the same time, for SARS-CoV-2 vaccines and sort of pharmacotherapeutics, for those to be successful, there has been a sort of better need to understand sort of the taxonomy to see that there are sort of better ways to treat particular symptoms or symptomology, but also ultimately to sort of eradicate the SARS-CoV-2 ultimately. And at the same time, in more recent works, there have been obviously vaccinations. There have been a sort of vaccination programs, etc., globally. But at the same time, the common remedies are symptom management with particular pharmacotherapeutics, at least in around some of the symptomologies, such as immunosuppressants, for example, artificial ventilation, and sort of drugs, such as pharmacotherapeutics, such as that have been evidenced, such as remdesivir, umifenovir, favipiravir, chloroquine, and hydroxychloroquine as some of the sort of pharmacotherapeutics that have been evidenced. So that draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast, as part of the Contemplate. This audio podcast as part of Labostix, Blizzard, and the specials. This audio podcast as part of the Echo and Update. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Labostix production.